August 21st, 2022. It's around 8 something in the morning. I put the actual time that I start the stream up there in the title. So if you're looking for what time of day was this, you can usually a lot of times find it in the title. Tony, good morning. Yep, got it going again. Tom Sicoli. Sodek, good morning. Hey. I gotta give enough time for the old stream to finish uploading, and it did, and then I went live, so good stuff. Guess I gotta zoom out a little bit. Let me zoom out. We can see a little bit of water still over here, a little puddle of water, and on our side of the road, there's a little water up that way. A couple puddles. So let me move to the left here a little bit. See, there's some pooled water that way. Evidence of rain is what we got here. Evidence of rain. Okay. Move back to where it was. Hey Mix, good morning. Darian. What's happening today in Starbase? Yeah, it looks a little cloudy, Darian. A little cloudy. So it is a Sunday, and we had some, hey Timbo, some kind of more serious weather early this morning. And so it's kind of the day of, or day after the weather, and picking up the getting everything. They'll probably be straightening stuff out today, you know, get it going, make the site good, and then go from there. Mix TV says just finished watching Apollo 13 film. Good stuff. Good stuff. You know, there was recently an actress that apparently passed away a couple days ago. And if you look at some of the footage of them about to put the actress into the ambulance, she opens up the body bag from the inside and sits up. So, you know, an actress, I don't know if she faked her death or what, but or maybe she came back to life and she didn't make it from the hospital. So I don't know what the situation on that was, but there was an actress who apparently crashed into a house, and as they were carrying her body over on the stretcher to the ambulance, she sat up from inside of the body bag, opened it up, and tried to get out. And so back to Apollo 13. You know, Apollo 13 is a movie. It may portray some of the events of what was going on, but you got to realize NASA is a government agency, and they have secrets, and so we're not seeing everything that actually happened in the early days of the space program by watching Apollo 13. So. Any defense organization like NASA is the NASA is just another name for like the United States government. So any United States government is going to have a secret side as well, confidential. And we are never going to find out that information here in the public sector. Go. All right, zooming out. So we're here at SpaceX at the main gate for the launch site. If we were over at Blue Origin, we would be about 5 miles at least from the launch site. Here at SpaceX, we can be less than a quarter mile. We're about maybe 500-600 feet maybe from the Starship here, right next to where the Starship 15 landed, right here on this area to the left. Starship 15 literally landed about where that red dozer was, between the red one and the black one on the right. Starship 15 literally landed between where that red bin is and where the black one is on the right there. So if we were looking for the landing spot at Blue Origin, we would not be able to see it with our bare eyes, nor get it on camera. So there's a lot of mountains over there, and we might have been able to see where it landed from the main gate at Blue Origin, but it's pretty unlikely. They had to drive out quite a ways into the surroundings around when they did some of those. I think with the landing with, who was it? Kurt, you know, that big actor, I forgot his name, but yeah. So they had to drive around in their truck a ways to get to the landing site. So the weather is, thanks Tony, cloudy with temperature of 81 degrees Fahrenheit or 27 degrees Celsius. The wind is from the southeast at 15 miles an hour. It's not so windy right now, so maybe the wind died down a little bit, or it's just not as windy as over by the ocean, by the South Port Isabel. 24 kilometers. Current humidity is 84%. It's probably about that humidity. Hey Timbo, good stuff. Thanks for the direction there, Rupert. Yeah, so the export asked, so why did they pick up the, so they just redid all this pavement here at the main gate here, and on our side of this little thing here, all the way along there over the course of 2 days. So they tore up the concrete over there, and so the export was asking, so why'd they do it, right? And so William Shatner is the name. Thanks, Tony. So when they tore it up, there was no rebar in that concrete there. So I think when they initially poured that concrete, they just wanted to get it done, right? And so maybe they're like, hey, we need to reinforce this area. So they dug it up one side on one day and then replaced it, and the other side another day replaced it. And before they poured the new concrete into there, they put a lot of rebar in there. So I believe maybe it was to reinforce those areas with some metal before pouring the concrete. nitrogen tanker going by. So when they demolitioned that concrete, those two areas, there was no rebar in the rubble as they tore it out. So I believe it was to do that reinforcement, make it stronger. Captain Kirk of the USS Enterprise, William Shatner. Yeah. So when they went to drive into the field with the Blue Origin landing around the launch complex over there in western Texas for Blue Origin, they had to drive around a bit into the grassy area. So here they launched it. They launched 15 from here or here. I'm not sure which one they launched off of, A or B, and they landed it right here. So we are super close, at least on video. So no enemies. Yeah, Rupert says, I saw no rebar come out, but I seen it go in. Good, yep. Me too. Hey, Nick. Good stuff. Yeah, there was some concern that maybe they would gate it off and wouldn't be able to see anything, but yeah, apparently they keep it open most of the time for people to come and go. Yeah. Maybe during the launch they would close it off, huh? Corwin 90 says they added a great water channel across the entrance for water off abatement. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay, let me get a better shot of that. I think I see what you're saying there. I didn't really notice that. Corwin, let me get that shot. Just a minute. Yeah, you are correct, one. Let me, so underneath this entire area, I just noticed it from that end to this end. Let me zoom in. There is a channel underneath that entire area. Maybe it's hollow all the way across. And I think that's what Corwin's referring to, for sure. I didn't see that there before. So underneath that entire area, I don't know if there's any holes going into it. How would they, what would be the purpose of maybe just connecting the two ends with water to be able to flow all the way underneath that pad area? I don't know what the purpose of that would be, but that's what they, looks like they did. I'd have to see it from the other end, but I believe that's probably what we're seeing here. So from the other side, it puddles, and then it goes underneath this concrete entire area and comes out this side. Wow. That's pretty serious. Yeah, Rupert says to put a launch gear on the roof of your truck and sit up there. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing that. That's a good idea. Thanks, Corwin. That's really good info you got there about the graded water channel. Good stuff. Across the entrance. I don't see any grates on top of here. I saw some guys holding grates, I think when they were demolitioning the area, but I didn't see any grates go in. If there were, or if there are grates across the top there somewhere, that would be a good idea, but yeah, I don't see any. Don't see any. Alan, good morning. The storm, around 1 o'clock, I was awake listening to the rain. And then I went back to sleep. I think around 2 something, it was probably supposed to be the strongest, but I don't remember hearing any. I was asleep, so yeah. Thanks for asking. I'll move back to the right here, so here we go. I get a shot of the tower after this too. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so the YouTube channel, you can subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Give a thumbs up, that helps. Kind of a nice shot right there. Let me just leave it there for a while. Okay, Rupert says there's a sump hole on the right side with a big pump in it with grates over it, and there's a channel to the left to that drain for an exit hole. Okay. Okay, so I think he's saying there's a sump hole on the right side with a big pump in it. Grates are over it, and there's a channel to the left. Okay, Rupert, good stuff. All right, so there's apparently some, I believe here on this side is the right side, and there's some grates over there and a pump, and good stuff, really good stuff. This whole area here is pretty complex. I mean, they got angles and everything. They got wall angles. They got a gate, and then they're funneling water. And you get this shot here. Pretty complex setup they got here, construction. The export says one day it won't look like a construction site. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, maybe it'll be a city one day. This will be the city of SpaceX in South Texas. And this will be like over in New York, they have the Penn Station. Maybe this will be like a Penn Station for space flights. Maybe we'll see like 20 rockets, or 20 to 30 rockets on the stand here, and maybe 15 of them getting ready to leave. Yeah, there used to be a lot of pooling of water over here, and at this time of day, after the rain, we would see some gentlemen here with their vehicles and some vacuum for vacuuming up the water, and that would go on for a couple hours, and then we would also see some dust sweepers, and they would go down the length of it and push the water and the debris out of the way. Yeah, that's some of what we would see at this time of day. Tony says a spaceport for interplanetary travel. No enemy says glad they got that area fixed. It was always pooling with water. Yeah. You can see, for contrast, on the side of the road that I'm on, this is the gently shaped side of the road where no public money probably has not much has been spent on the side of the road that I'm broadcasting from, with the sand, the dirt, and the old-fashioned shape of the ground over here. But on the other side of the road, you got nearing perfection, and we got all the concrete and the special drainage ditches and everything else. So, the explorer says, once the rocket has been mostly developed for flight the same way Falcon 9 is, then things will change. Yeah, that's a good point. So you're saying that once it's a proven rocket, once it's proven and things are going up one after another, no explosions, everything's turning into mind-numbing similarity. Once the Starship becomes commonplace and a little bit boring, is when things will change, huh? That's cool. That's a really good point there. So, you know, success after success after success. Oh, so much success. It's so boring. Launching of the Starship is become an everyday thing. At that point, some of the things might change. I got you. Corwin says, with that much money coming into the country, into the county, I think, you think they could put a public rest area in across the street? Yes. I think both these, yeah, maybe we'll see that happen. There is, maybe with all this construction, there's more interest from the surrounding community. So, yeah, maybe. Yeah, the explorer again says, when the Starship booster is as routine as the Falcon 9, then the focus will shift to getting tonnage to space. Oh yeah, okay. Raul asks, Banirj, when is the rollout, and when is the overlaunch mount going to be finished? Well, they finished the chopsticks a long time ago, and they're still doing modifications to those. The rollout could be this week of the booster. I imagine that could happen this week. I think yesterday I was saying that maybe after the rain it would take a day for them to figure out if everything's in good situation and stuff. So far there hasn't been much rain, so there may be no hiccup or no delay for any planned road closures for tomorrow, Monday. So we could see some stuff as soon as Monday through Wednesday. So Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and then maybe Friday we would see some activity. But there's no road closure, I don't believe, scheduled for this Friday. So. Maybe the following week. So yeah, maybe not this week, but maybe next week we would see some activity. So in about 8 days, maybe some static fires or stuff like that. Yeah. But you know, you never know. They could do a lot this week as well. Tony says the Falcon 9 has exceeded all expectations of us as a reusable rocket. Yeah. The tower's almost finished being stacked. It says no enemies. Well, I'll get a few more shots of the Starship area, and then I'll move to the right here and get the tower. So they're doing a lot of excavation and asphalt type of work, maybe even concrete work on the far side of the Starship there. So there's a huge area over there that they're maybe planning to pave or make into a parking lot. I don't know what they're doing with it, but it is a flat area that they've made flat. And I believe I've seen some asphalt going down over there. Maybe today I can get that footage. I was gonna get it yesterday morning, but couldn't connect to Starlink. So I think maybe today I should get that shot. I've been wanting to do it for a while. So yeah. So yeah, on the other side of that, I'll use my hand. So back beyond all this dirt and beyond that fence back there, there is a large kind of parking lot area that they've flattened out and they've fenced off, and they are, I believe, asphalting. So it's on the far side of pads A and B. Yeah. So this work here might be preventing them, or they might be focusing on that before doing a static fire of the Starship. Yeah. The enemy says only a couple sections till the Cape Starbase tower is complete. Haven't seen any updates on the orbital launch mount in Florida though. Tony, on the Visit Starbase Facebook group, they have a photo of it from, I think it's the August 18th to the 25th is what I believe the Marine Safety Information Bulletin was issued for. Yeah. I think through the 25th of August 2022. I'll move to the right here. 22nd to the 25th. Okay, that's good. Maybe it was published on the 18th, but it goes from the 22nd to the 25th. Okay, I just remember the, I think maybe the beginning and definitely the 25th. I remember the 25, but not so much the 22nd. I didn't really look it over that thoroughly. I'll move to the right here. It'll be about 15-20 seconds and set up again. So. With this shot, we can kind of see some of the back of the tower too. I mean, back of the orbital launch platform. See the tower there, but the OLM. At nighttime, we got that bright light in front of us. It's still on, even though it's daytime. But let me zoom in on the launch platform. Good night, Helena. Cool. So it's 9:18 here. So you're around 10 p.m.-ish. Good night, Helena. Nice to chat with you this morning. for you. Last night for us. Rupert, what is the command on rover 2? What does that mean? Hey Daniel. Well, there was some speculation about several months ago about whether they would get permission to launch out of Boca Chica. So rather, it only takes them about like 6 months or less to build a launch center, right? So not knowing if they would get to launch out of Boca Chica, they just said, hey, let's spend the money over there at Kennedy Space Center and guarantee that we'll be able to launch somewhere, you know, if not out of Boca Chica. So, and then just last month, a little bit over 30 days ago, on the 15th of June 2022, they got permission to launch out of Boca Chica. So they spent maybe several months just getting that place over there at Kennedy Space Center going, and saying, hey, if you guys don't want to let us launch out of Boca Chica, we'll just build it over here in Florida. So, and so when you're in sales and when you're in business, when people are holding back whether they'll buy your product or whether you're gonna do business with you, you can just it's kind of like, hey, we got another customer. If you don't want to order it, we're gonna sell it to these people over here. And oh yeah, we got a limited quantity, and you need to buy it before this type of date, otherwise you can't buy it anymore. So limitation is really good when it comes to business because it gets people to take action. If you have scarcity, so if you have unlimited quantities, people might not buy it. But if you have running out of inventory and nobody else can supply it to you, that's when you'll get the order. In the same way, SpaceX said, okay, if you guys don't want to let us fly out of Boca Chica, we'll build it over here in Florida, and you might lose all our business going forward. So, and then they got permission to launch. So that's kind of how it works. Hey Rupert, I don't know what the MSIP stands for. I could make that command, but I don't know what it is. Good on you, Helena. Yeah, good morning. Again, Jackie. Hopefully you get to church there if you can. Thanks, Jackie. There's a lot of wind noise. Okay, let me do something about that. Let me try something here. Let's see if that's any better. I took out the mic. I can put it back in, but we don't have that much. We have some wind, but not much. Let me put the mic back in. All right, the mic is back in. Thanks once again, Jackie. If there were like 35 more people like you, that would be really amazing. If you have any friends, send them this way. Okay, Paul says Marine MSIB means Marine Safety Information Bulletin. Okay. White D, Good morning. That got it. Okay, thanks, Kenny. Oh, it's the sun is starting to come out here. Maybe it'll get so bright that that light in front of us will turn off. I think it's connected to a generator, so they might have to do that by hand. But yeah. Yeah, I'll be going to the remote camera site today, and I'll be driving back and forth to Brownsville as well. So I'll be doing a lot more driving today. Pretty much every day I go to Brownsville. You know, you gotta go. I gotta go there to see people and just get back to normal. You know, out here at the Starbase area. There's nobody to talk with because everybody's either a SpaceX person or maybe someone going to the beach. So both groups of people, you can't really talk with anybody or anything. And then to get food or to buy something, you got to go to Brownsville. So I go there every day. So. But most of the parking spaces here are empty. I kind of suspect that since they're building the launch site over there in Florida, that maybe the reason why there are less people here is because they had those same people that built the site here in Brownsville move over there to Florida so that it could be built fast and maybe at a better price than if someone were just building it for the first time. So you see me on the hoop cam, Rupert. All right. I just waved to the hoop cam. Good stuff. They've got some people up there on the orbital launch platform. Let me zoom in on that. Let me get that shot. Can't see them right now, but there were like 3 or 4 people up the top. We could see 3 different cherry pickers too. Maybe a 4th one, just the bottom of it, going angled to the right at the very bottom. So they're pretty active on the launch platform right now. So. Zoom out. So other than that, it is a Sunday. There's quite a bit of stuff here on the launch site. They haven't done any testing yet, I don't believe, with the E-Dome, and they have a kind of a larger inventory of stuff all over the area here. Let me go forward a little bit. All right, I took the mic out. I'll do it once more. Having a lot of issues today with the mic here. Let me try it again. See if that's better. I'll say the number 5. See if that's fixed. Okay, good stuff. Thanks, 55 Chevy guy, Steve. Hey Jackie, I can't hear any audio from your side of things at the moment. There's a possibility that I may be hitting the mic, or the wind is hitting the mic, and then it's pulling it out a little bit out of the lightning jack. That's a possibility. But there's a lot of stuff here, so they'll be moving all this stuff. Oh, there's wind noise. I can get the umbrella, and I'll hold the umbrella and take the mic out. That's what I'll do. All right, I took the mic out, holding the umbrella. So there's a lot of stuff here that they'll have to move before any type of static fire. Oh, cool. Rupert, he wanted to check out his setup. Okay, good. I hope it's dictionary page 5. I don't know what you're referring to. That's funny. Explain a little bit more what you're talking about, dictionary. I don't know what you're saying. That's a good profile name, though. Dictionary page 5. What does that page have on it? So that's pretty interesting. Does the concrete work at that gate seem complete? Says 55 Chevy. Yes, it is. It does appear to be finished and complete, and we even got a little rain this morning to maybe add a little extra moisture for the curing. Yeah, since I'm right here in front, I can get a little bit. Good stuff, Jackie. Good stuff. So you got another profile there too. Good stuff. Yeah, so they've got a bunch of different angles here. There's I'll talk a little loud too. You probably hear more background noise right now, but there's a lot of angles to the concrete here. So as complete as can be for now, I would say. They've got a lot of angles in the concrete here. So let me go here to the right. So we got this big angle here, and we got somewhat of a depression here. Now there's a depression there, and then and it's like somewhat of a angled depression. But then over here it changes and it angles down, and the I'm not sure where the hole is here on the right for it to go underneath. I don't know if it goes underneath, but on the far side there's a hole in the wall over there too. I don't know where the pump is on this. Oh yeah, I don't know if there's a grating and pump right over there. That may be where the grating is. I see what could be a grating behind those shoes. Looks like there may be a grating right behind those shoes on the other side. If that's true, then the water might be being pumped. Okay, there's a pump here, obviously, where at least it's funneling into that area. So that may be where the grating and pump are, and if that's true, then the hole that I'm looking for over here doesn't appear to come from. I thought it was just going to be coming off from over here and then going underneath the pad, but it looks to be maybe it's from that grating area going across, and there is a hole exiting over here, but I'm not sure how the water's funneled to get over there. So maybe the water comes in from the left, and instead of coming out this way, maybe it goes in this way and gets pumped wherever that pump to the right of the gate here is sending the water. So not sure the flow of the water, but yeah. But for now, it looks pretty. Oh wait, I see some grating here. It looks pretty complete. There is I just noticed the grating from this angle. There we go. But where these different holes are, there is a black area there, and there's a skinny grating which goes across that area. It doesn't continue here to the right. See, there's no grating over here, but right here it starts, the grating, and it's probably at least 6 inches wide. And then it goes across that whole entrance area. So that is the grating. And so that connects with that area to the left as well. That's pretty smart what they did there. That's pretty smart. There are some cracks. There's a joint going back behind. There's a crack going that way. So maybe they'll do more repairs and redo that whole area back there, because there's a lot of different angles here in the pad area. So that would be maybe for the future, if they want to be a little bit more precise about that type of thing, they could redo all that area. There's going to be over there by the crane, there's either some dirt, sand, or maybe just messed up concrete with some different puddles there in the background. So but that grating looks really good. Looks good. I guess it's hidden. It's hidden by these mats here, but the grading is probably under there too. Thanks for the question. Good, really good. Happy to have found that grading. Yeah, dictionary page 5. Let me know what you were talking about. I don't understand what you're talking about, though. I'd like to learn more about what you're referring to. Something about hijacking NASA. I don't understand what you're saying there. Oh, wow. 55 Chevy guy says, Steve, I was thinking the grading is also to help mitigate future liquid nitrogen spills from the test tank failures. Wow, that's a really interesting thought there. Yeah, I guess if it pulls up, you don't want it coming across the road, and they could pump it or funnel it as it goes into that area, huh? That's a smart, that's smart, man. Good thinking there. Yeah, the last time it came across the area here, it was moving very fast, but I'm sure there were puddles of it as well. And yeah, so shaping of the concrete area there would definitely prevent it from a lot of it coming across the road, possibly. If it ever pulled up on the main pad area back there, it would be funneled to the sides and pumped out to a safe area. Amanda says, I like the idea of harvesting water. Good idea. Yeah, good morning. Yeah, good. Nice to see you here. And yeah, let's harvest the water. Uh, 55 Chevy says it might be the E-dome test hasn't happened yet. Yeah. So if they test this E-dome and it does, if they take it to failure and it pops, that'll be a liquid nitrogen event. I wasn't here, or I didn't get the video when they were testing the short 7.1 on the crusher, the can crusher, but if they did test that E-dome to failure, that would be a liquid nitrogen event as well. Thanks, Tony. So Tony says, I think he was talking about how you perceive NASA. It was a bit borderline, but I let him have his say on the matter. Yeah, good stuff. If you look up the creation of NASA, it started, I believe, in the 50s, and there was an organization before it called NACA, N-A-C-A. And at the end of at the perceived end of World War II, in the 40s, the United States government brought in a bunch of German scientists for a variety of reasons. So there was several thousand German scientists that were brought over who were part of the Nazi organization, and they also brought their families too. So those people were very smart. They were very skilled rocket people, and so in the 50s, the von Braun group convinced Congress. Again, von Braun is the one of the most recognized or famous German scientists, who was also part of the Nazi Party, the von Braun group convinced Congress to do away with NACA, which was our space organization at that time. And because of, if you read the statements, that the rationale was that NACA was really just a duplication of the new organization called NASA. So the German scientists that had been brought over from during, at the end of World War II, convinced Congress to do away with the U.S. space agency called NACA and to fully fund the new German organization called NASA. So the von Braun group did convince Congress to do that, and Congress did away with NACA, N-A-C-A, and the new German occupied agency called NASA, which was formerly a Nazi organization, Nazi event over there in Germany. It's not fully German, but you gotta wonder what those very educated German scientists were able to accomplish, and how fast they were able to progress in the NASA organization, and why they did why did they convince Congress to defund and disband NACA, and why did they also absorb all the why did the new NASA organization absorb all the NACA assets? So NASA absorbed NACA. They took over all the assets of NACA, and the very intelligent German scientists, formerly of the Nazi organization, they took NASA forward, and because they were very educated and knowledgeable, they did not continue at the menial jobs, and they actually rose to the top in the new NASA organization. So, and if you look at the founding of NASA, you will learn that it is a organization, independent government organization without any real oversight. So NASA is a branch of the U.S. government which has attempted to isolate itself from any oversight, from any public influence, and it is headed by the Vice President of the United States. So, much like the CIA, NASA is a independent government agency, unlike many other government organizations. So, NASA is leaning on the Nazi side of things. It is also independent, much like the CIA, and it is part of the secret side of the government. So there are many defense and war-like aspects of NASA which the public does not ever see. So if you think NASA does not kill anybody, if you think NASA has never killed anybody, I would beg to differ, because the government is in the business of killing people to maintain its world viewpoint. So there are government agencies that actively kill people around the globe, and as NASA is a militaristic as well as a public organization, although we see many beautiful things about NASA, NASA is actually a war machine as well, and it does kill people. So that's my personal viewpoint. But right now we are looking at SpaceX, and even Elon has said the government has a monopolistic ability to kill people. It's a corporation, and if you want to hear Elon say that, just look for it online. And as NASA is a branch of the US government, NASA has killed people. Okay, 55 Chevy guy, welcome to Delta 4 Heavy OCSC. Thank you for joining. Dave says the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics was a United States federal agency founded on March 13th, 1915 to undertake, promote, and institutionalize aeronautical research. Awesome. Good information, Dave. Just hit 12 months membership, Rupert. Dave says, Dave S., I probably wouldn't put your resume into NASA, Paul. That's true. I've never, I've not any time recently have I ever applied to NASA. That's correct. Yeah, Rupert says even Elon said people would be lost going to Mars, but sometimes the people aren't lost. Sometimes the people are actually executed. So some of the times where the public hears the term that, oh yeah, they died in an accident, sometimes those accidents are intentional. And the evidence of that is in some of the reports by people that I've watched and listened to who have said such things. There's such a thing called economic hitmen, and if you'd like to learn more about that, just search for the term economic hitman, and I'm sure there's some economic hit woman as well. So learn more about that if you don't know anything about it. So. Notorious asks, how long before the starships are testing engines again? That's a good question. Good question. Maybe, you know, once we, well, you know, there is, I think McGregor is where they test the engines. Yeah, the wind has died down quite a bit. Or maybe it's just because I'm standing behind my umbrella. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, question mark, says Rupert. Yeah, congrats, Rupert. There is somebody here as well who's been here for 14 months. Kind of a war. There is another gentleman I listened to, if I can remember his name. I'm not remembering it at the moment, but he has like 5-year subscribers. He's been doing his show for a while, and yeah, maybe we'll get to be that. Yeah. If the OceanCam mission continues to succeed, and I can, and maybe some of the things that I'm invested in succeed and do very well, this could really become a space organization here of a larger thing, and we'll actually be up there in space doing the footage. Yeah, earlier I saw 3 people, maybe at least 3 people up there on the top of the overlaunch platform. Don't see him from this angle. But the way I see it, you know, just like any group of people, there were a group of people that founded this country here, the United States of America. And I believe only a small amount of people actually participated in the Civil War. So there were very few people that participated in the Civil War, but there were many people here. There were many different groups of people, and some people didn't want to break away from from England and some of the other countries. So, and then there was a war between the North and the South here, called the Civil War in the United States of America, and the results of that were a group of people again coming together and writing up several documents, one of which was the Declaration of Independence, and some of the other, you know, documents, and different letters, which have become the core of what was originally the United States of America. And then that United States of America apparently went bankrupt back in the 1700s, late 1700s, I think, as well as a second time. So there have been a couple corporations, just like you start a business like an LLC or whatever you want to call your LLC, that original United States of America went bankrupt a long time ago. And what we have now is some of the newer corporations that have renamed themselves United States of whatever. And so the Declaration of Independence may not apply anymore, but again, just like in the founding of the United States of America, there were only a small group of people who participated. So even with the refounding and the reincorporation of these different entities that have come about with the same name, only certain people are buying into the new corporation. So there are a lot of people who still believe in the original United States of America, and so there's a dichotomy, or there's a kind of a separation in beliefs about what the actual state of this business, corporation, or country, what we're calling it. Just like if we were to look at Australia, we would see on the American Stock Exchange, Australia is a listed corporation on the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's not listed as a government, it's listed as a corporation. So in the same way, the United States is not the original one, as the original one went bankrupt. And so we have different groups of people that are believing different things. I get a shot of the Starship here. I don't need the umbrella anymore. The wind has died down to next to nothing, so. But because of the foresight of some of the founders of the United States here, they set up the checks and balances of the executive, the judicial, and so we got the legal. Yeah, so we got the judicial is the lawmaking, the executive, and the Congress. So we got the three. Originally, we had the three branches of the government here, and now we have several offshoots of that, one of which is the NASA organization and the CIA and the FBI. All these other agencies didn't originally exist. If you look back at the founding of this country, there wasn't an FBI, there wasn't a CIA, there wasn't a NASA, and all the different organizations. So I believe in the beginning they were looking at a state. All the different states would kind of make the rules as they saw fit, and the government was just something small to prevent against war. To get into shape when there was a war, or I think there was one other instance where the United States had the federal side of things was important. But now some people refer to it as a nanny state. Nanny, like someone who would take care of your baby. A lot of people, some people refer to the United States now as a nanny state, where kind of the government replaces the men. Whereas formerly, to have a family, you would just rely on your partner, whether it was a woman or a man that was making the money, and the joint relationship between the man and the woman would kind of support the having of a family. But now, with it being a nanny state, and with the increase in taxes, before in the beginning there weren't really many taxes, So, but now, since the government has come into prominence and the states have been subverted or have been minimized, the people who now work for the government have put priority on the control of of this group of states and said, now we are in control here, and you people who were getting the money from, you were the small people, but we are the important people here in government. And so they're making more rules and laws, and now when people need support, instead of going to their family or their husband or their relatives, now they go to the government. So the government has replaced the need for having a partner, a man, a woman, whatever it is, and you could just go to the government for your money or your food. You don't have to grow it anymore. Just go to the government and they'll give you the sanitized food and the comfort that you're looking for, as long as you cooperate. Anyway, that is the view here at SpaceX South Texas launch sites. The date is August 21st, 2022. Paul Marks with Ocean Camera Space Corp. Again, yes, where the goal is to take the video of the surface and subsurface oceans on the many moons and planets in our solar system, because there's over 200 moons here, and we have yet to see that video imagery from NASA or any other organization from the surface or the subsurface. Although there is more water off of Earth confirmed than on the Earth. So with over 200 moons, we know several of these moons have under the ice. The whole moon is an ocean underneath the ice. We're looking at maybe a Europa mission, but since it is NASA and since it is a government secret organization, there's a good chance they'll keep pushing that back and getting the public money while pushing back the mission. So if you want a $500 hammer, you might go to NASA, because again, the hammer didn't cost $500 to manufacture, but they did use that $500 or maybe $460 for some of the secret missions. So $460 to secret missions for a NASA hammer, and about $40 for the actual hammer that they're showing to in the public sector. So, all right, signing out from here, Ocean Camera Space Corp. If you prefer NASA, then maybe you shouldn't watch this show, but if you like space and SpaceX, maybe check out the stream here and from some of the other non-NASA organizations. Okay, great. All right, I will be signing out here in a couple minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. I'll sign out. I shouldn't just end the stream with 57 people watching. So the weather here is 28 degrees Fahrenheit, 28 degrees Celsius. If someone had some breakfast here, I wouldn't be wanting to end the show so soon. But there's nowhere to buy food here on site, so I have a few snacks in the truck, but really to get some good food, I'm gonna have to go to Brownsville. And it is 9:50, it's 10:04-ish, and I'm getting a little hangry, and I will probably be going to Brownsville soon for that. As the area here gets more developed, if it goes in that direction, we will be able to see more here in the public sector. A lot of developments here close up of the stuff, and maybe we'll get some food trucks that serve to the public. Even though it is a Sunday, nobody is selling food to the public here, so I'm gonna have to drive 20 miles to get to Brownsville, and probably another 5 miles to get to Walmart or wherever. So about 25 miles to get some food, and because there's no public restaurant here at the moment, so nor is there a restroom. So I will be driving out of here, and very glad to be here. This is an awesome place. Something I always dreamed about when I was a kid, being able to see a commercial space program, and we're getting to see it. We're getting to see it here due to the efforts of many good people. um, yourself. All right, I'm going to sign out here. Paul Michaels with Ocean Camera Space Corp, oceancam.space. I'll get on camera briefly. I think you are able to see me on the hoop cam, but I'll say a few more things too. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. I am going to say a few more things. You know, when I was a young kid, I watched a lot of military movies. So there's people who make movies here in the United States. And again, to make any business or movie, you need money. So there are people with money who have beliefs, and these people with money who have beliefs who want to convey their beliefs to a large part of the population will make movies. So as a youngster, I watched many war movies. And so when I was 24, after having explored the public sector, I joined the military for a period of time, a very short period of time. And I saw that what I had seen in the movies, the awesomeness, the firing of weapons, the teamwork and that type of thing, you know, I didn't join when I was 17. I didn't join when I was 18 years old. I was a very educated person. I had already had 5 years of college when I joined the military. I had also been into the yoga scene and had hundreds of out-of-body experiences. So I was not a novice and I was not a blank slate when I went into the military. Had I been in that situation, or maybe if I had been less fortunate as far as having money earlier in my younger days and less experience, if I had less experience when I joined the military, I might have had a different viewpoint. But when I joined, I was kind of intelligent, so I got over 125 or something on the ASVAB. So I had over 125 on the ASVAB, which is a military test. So to give you opportunities to go into different areas in the military. So I didn't choose military intelligence, which I had the opportunity to go into, and I didn't choose some of the other military police or any of the other stuff. I had seen a lot of Rambo movies in my younger days, so I was thinking, well, let's, even later in life, I'd seen the Mission Impossible. And so in those movies, you see a lot of independence, you see a lot of working together, teamwork, you see goodness, and you see purpose. You see purpose and you see strength, or at least I did. So having seen all that, you know, what you don't see in those movies is the reason for the wars. You don't see the people getting killed and the value that's put on those people. And you don't see the way the military treats those people. So, and today we see a lot of veterans who don't get any medical support, even though they did a lot of service. So the veterans aren't taken care of by the military organizations who they sacrificed and served for. So that's just one side of it. Also, the teamwork that you see in a lot of these Hollywood movies is non-existent. So the togetherness and the spirit de corps, maybe you see it in the Marines, I don't know, but you know, the stuff you see in the movies is written by a certain group of people who have a certain spin and a certain reason why they're making these movies. So and maybe they want to make them to sell, just to make money, and they don't really care about the information about what's actually going on. So you have these certain groups of people who make the movies who necessarily don't know or don't want you to know what the actual situation is. If you believe, if you're of a certain viewpoint where you believe in a certain type of thing, and there's a group of people who don't believe in what you believe in, then you can make a group. If you want to wipe out a certain group of people, maybe a certain group of patriotic people, you can make a certain type of movie that would inspire those people to join the military, where you can get rid of them through war. So Warren Buffett has said there's a certain group of people who don't necessarily fit into society, and that's why we have war. That's what he said. Not word for word, but that's what Warren Buffett has said. So again, Warren Buffett was supporting a certain group of presidential candidates. So if you were to link up the types of people that Warren Buffett actually, in fact, likes, and who he was supporting financially in the different presidential elections, and then you look at the statement that he put out as far as the purpose and the usefulness of war, and then also you look at maybe some of the movies that have been made over the time and the group of people who make those movies, you could potentially come out of that equation with a purpose and a reason for war in regards to patriotism. So yeah, there's a reason for war, and there are different groups of people who make movies, and war is not always a bad thing for certain groups of people. So again, this is just my personal viewpoint, and you're welcome to have your own. Most of the time I don't talk about these things unless for some reason I get inspired. All right. But for the younger generations who've watched many movies, my recommendation and suggestion would be don't join the military. A lot of the stuff you see in movies is just pure. It's fun to watch the movies, but in reality, war is actually about killing people. It's not really about any purpose. And if you want to have a purpose, then stay in the public sector and develop the technologies that we're seeing, like here at SpaceX, and through grit and sweat, move forward your purpose, move forward your beliefs here in the public sector, because war is not about purpose. War is about killing people. So if you have a purpose and you believe, you have certain beliefs and you have goodness, stay in the public sector. I would encourage you to do that. Forget about what you see in the movies as far as reality. The movies are for fun. The movies aren't for reality. If you want reality, stay out of the movies. Stay here in the public sector and develop these technologies here so that we can have a Star Trek future. We can live now with Star Trek capability. Do no harm and help humanity, help other species, maybe interact with other intelligences throughout the galaxy, throughout the universe. Because that technology most likely exists at this moment in the defense sector. But again, when in the times of war, as we are currently, we're usually always in war somewhere around the globe. The United States government is very unordinary. It's most of the time, over the many years, most of the time we're at war. So the peace, it's been said that peace is the aberration. Peace for the United States government, for the different governments around the globe, you know, you can't make money in peace. So if you really want to put it to the, grinder, if you want to really make a difference, then stay here in the public sector and do good, be good, do good, make good technology, grow food, and help everybody. You know, if you're just going to become I'm not going to go back into the military stuff, but yeah, there's no reason to go into there are very few, if no reason to go into the military. If you're a Catholic or whatever, you might consider the do no harm. You know, it's not good to kill people, kind of 10 Commandments kind of thing. But even in the military, they have the religious sector. There were if we're going to go back into their written history, you know, we got the Crusades. So there are a lot of Catholics out there killing a lot of people around the globe. So you know, the 10th commandment there were about not killing people. When it comes to war, people kind of throw stuff out the window. So that's just one example of you know, some of the things you'll see in the movies about how it is. And really, when it comes to war, it just all goes out the window, and it's about survival. So if you want to put yourself up to the
to your brother and sister, and you want to fight your brothers and sisters and relatives, then go to war and you can experience more survival. But as far as evolution and advancement of humanity, we're not going to get it through war. You know, you could say, well, a lot of money is spent in the military sector, and we're really getting a lot of advancements in technology and stuff. But there's a lot of history that we don't remember. You know, we don't remember a lot of history. There's, if we look at the Hindu culture, the Indians, they say that their written history goes back much further than anything here in the Western world. Even the Chinese, their history kind of goes back far, but the really the Sanskrit writings and maybe some of the African cultures, their history goes back way further, and their history also includes many weapons that we don't have complete knowledge of today. So the war is, you know, yeah, you'll develop weapons. I mean, some of those weapons will have maybe some of the, you know, maybe this beautiful asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Maybe that was another planet that through the technologies of war got blown up, or maybe Mars itself was a habitable planet, but the war on Mars maybe did away with that civilization. So we are destroying our brothers and sisters, maybe even ourselves, through war. So if you think spending money in the military sector is going to benefit humanity, I would beg to differ, and I would say that spending money in the military sector is not making anyone safe, but it is moving us closer to destruction. So yeah, let's spend the money in the public sector. Let's so we've developed, you know, a lot of these people in underground bases and around the globe and even off planet. I'm sure we have missiles pointed at the Earth from satellites and space-based weapon systems. Never mind military air, you know, Space Force carriers out there in space, which are probably over a mile long, and they're not new. They're like maybe 50 years old. So we got a lot in the military sector that will never come to public view if we don't start developing the technologies here in the public sector. Because the benefit of making something, usurping the tax money, or developing the ability to make money in the military sector, is that that money never comes to the public sector, but it does increase the control for a small group of people in the military sector. So we are we're shooting ourselves in the foot by continuing to support and to fuel the militaries around the globe, and maybe the people who sell to those militaries. So let's come together. Let's do good for each other. Let's keep seeing each other as connected and as good around the globe, in India, in China, in Russia, Afghanistan, Indonesia, Australia, South America. We're all just people here living our lives, and maybe the more interconnected we become, and the less we listen to people who have influenced perspectives, you know, the less if someone owns a company that makes a certain part that's used for a weapon, and they come out and they say such and such is what we need to do, it's important to realize that the reason they may have that belief is because they want to get more money from their stocks that they have in those companies, B, maybe sell their product to those military organizations to build those weapons, or C, maybe they want to get rid of a certain group of people. And you know, there's many different reasons why someone would have a belief, and but it's different here in the public sector. In the public sector, we actually have to have a profit to continue. In the government, in these different groups of people who call themselves the government, they don't need to have a profit. They don't need to come out with a cash flow positive, because they can just they can create more inflation. They can print more fiat. They can create a new cause, like the Reduce Inflation Reduction Act, and and just create out of thin air $400 billion, and they can continue doing what they want to do. So yeah, the government is not going to bring us together. The government is going to make themselves more powerful. All right, signing out here, Paul Marcos, Ocean Camera Space Corp. Scroll through the chat here briefly again. I'll look at the chat a little bit. Let me look through the chat. Yeah, same with vets all over the all over the globe. People are just going into war to, you know, it's also, there's a reason why a lot of people join the military and do risky things. I didn't mention it during this stream. That didn't come to mind, but you know, people who aren't into spirituality, or people who haven't had a near-death experience, these people actually want to get up there to the edge. They want to experience the truth, or some truth, or a truth. They want to find something solid. So by joining the military, or jumping out of airplanes, or doing some type of extreme sport, or driving their car really fast, or getting really straight up there next to death, by getting right up close to death, they can feel alive. So, or by doing something harmful to somebody else, they can experience that rush, which gets them, where they experience the beauty of life. And so the horrible thing about that is they're bringing themselves closer and closer to death each time they experience this. I mean, it's great that they're reconnecting with their spirit through that fear. They're realigning their bodies. They're going through some extreme movements to have that reconnection with spirit. But these people are, for the most part, don't know what they're going toward. So when if someone dies right now, then they're back in spirit, right? They're back in the soul, or maybe they're in the void, or the nothing, or the emptiness. But they are back to there. So they get back to that knowledge of spirit, of more than just the physical body. So a lot of people, in my belief, do these extreme sports to get reconnected with their soul, with their spirit, with their survival instinct, because that's where the life is. So they'll live a terrible life, they'll eat crappy food, they'll really damage their bodies, but through that damage they get closer to life, which is the spirit, the soul, the other alignment. So if you're really excited and interested in getting that experience, you don't have to go to such extreme things. You can actually just eat organic food, do some meditation, listen to some binaural beats, listen to some meta music with headphones, and organize your life, get calm, get relaxed. There's no reason why you have to have a stroke or a heart attack. You can actually approach these death states through a near-death experience, through meditation, through yoga, through Tai Chi, through different ways of doing this, through organic food. You don't have to eat these different foods that'll bring you near death. You can have a near-death experience naturally rather than unnaturally. You don't have to join the military, jump out of an airplane, and come close to dying to have that rush. You can have it through eating a banana with a cold smoothie. So there's many ways to get that rush, to get that alignment of the electricity and the energy through the body, versus just taking out the body through eating a lot of pizza and other harmful stuff. All right, go back to the chat. So so a lot of people are looking for that death experience to get back into life. So they may not do it consciously, but they are doing it unconsciously. All right, this is going to be one of the longest streams I've ever done, where I said I'm about to end, and I have not ended yet. Why are you doing this to me? All right, Notori says, why does Blue Origin keep itself secret when SpaceX has already done what SpaceX has already done? Okay, hey, Notorious, everybody's got to make a different type of, everybody's got a different yogurt, right? Everybody's got a different chewing gum, right? So even though one company has a great chewing gum or yogurt or maybe kefir. Everybody's got a different kefir. Everybody's got a different kale salad. So even though SpaceX has achieved many things here, maybe over there at Blue Origin they want to make more. Coconut ice cream. Rupert says World War II pulled things out of the Depression. Yes, but to get a depression, you have to have a depression is just a say if you have a mania. After a mania, you get a depression. So, you know, it's you can't have a depression without a what's it called? What's the opposite of depression? You got to have one to have the other. So, yeah. Yeah, then the baby boomers, right? And then not enough money coming in from the after the baby boomers got into retirement. Now they had to have a economic downfall because they're running out of money in the Social Security and Medicare. So, yeah, if you have a baby boom, and then those boomers don't have many kids, and then the kids aren't enough to pay the taxation from the Social Security and the Medicare, well, then you have an economic downturn, which is what we're going through right now. So they were going bankrupt over there at the Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid. For many years ago, it was predicted because of the lack of the people to continue paying the benefits that the baby boomers would get. So, yeah, okay. Thermoelectric could be used perhaps for electronics on a rocket when hot and cold. Is used to produce electricity. Yeah, that's good thought there, Notorious. Nick says we are kind of the world police, or at least referee. It should be. Should there be a world police? You know, even I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person, but I believe in the Bible. It says that if you want a king, you're going to have to suffer the consequences. So, if you want a controller, if you want a ruler, you're gonna have to pay the dues to those kings and rulers. So if you want a world police, and there are always going to be dues, but if we really evolve into that Star Trek civilization throughout the solar system and the different galaxies and dimensions, then a world police is maybe not going to be necessary, you know. Hey, Divine East, I wish a lot of things as well. I wish a lot of things as well. Okay, good stuff. Back to rockets and everything else. Good stuff. All right, some things, good stuff, good stuff. These views are the views of the host and not necessarily those of the Ocean Camera Space Corp channel. Yes, I am currently a 100% stock owner here at SpaceX, so these views are coming from Paul S. Mamakos at Ocean Camera Space Corp. They do not reflect the views of the partners or the members of Ocean Camera Space Corp. Hey Gary, good morning. Notorious. But Ocean Camera Space Corp is entirely 100% owned by a Mr. Paul S. Mamakos. Currently your host. So if you'd like to see someone who doesn't have these views, have them apply to Ocean Camera Space Corp, I would love to have several beautiful ladies here on the show who can alternate one after the other and give a recap of what's going on here by the hour. I would love to have several beautiful 20-ish, 23, 24-year-old ladies come on the show, because I believe in equal opportunity. And as I have been the sole for the majority of the time here for the last 18, 17 months, I have been the only, there's another 2 ladies that have been on the show in the past for short periods of time. but I have been the sole occupant of the camera here. So in order to reweigh, to make better, to equal opportunity, I have opened it up for some 24-year-old ladies, maybe 23-year-old, 22 possibly, but mostly probably around 23, 24, because those are probably the most interesting and knowledgeable people to counterweigh the knowledge that I put out here on the show. Okay, if you would like to, yeah, Jenny was good. She was not 23 or 24 too. She had spiritual knowledge. So Jenny had the wisdom of the spirit, of the soul. So that definitely weighed it in her direction as far as watchability. She's welcome back anytime. I don't know where she went, but I haven't seen her around for quite a while. She built some benches over by the dunes, which are still there, and they're used a lot, very, very often. So I wish Jenny the best, and just haven't heard from her in about 7 months or so. Notorious asks, do you think Starship has to be more accurate on landing than the Falcon 9? Yeah, I don't know. Yes, I would have to say yes. Yeah, she was alive, Tony. She was a good person. She is a good person. There are some technologies where apparently if they turn on these, I believe it's called the, just like the electron in electricity works off of electrons. And this will be kind of a nanotechnology update. There's Mehran Kesh of the Kesh Foundation of the Spaceship Institute out of Italy. I believe they're still in Italy. They have some technologies that they've been sharing with the public here on YouTube over many years now, over 10 years. And there is a technology that Mr. Kesh talks about which interrupts electricity. And so there are, you can imagine there are many F-22s and other airplanes that work off of electricity. And for these even warships, thanks John, yeah, it's a good shirt. Some of these, many of these warships work off of electricity. So wires, and whether the signal goes through the wire or maybe through the field around the wires, there is another type of technology, which in the atom we have the electron, we have the proton, and we have the neutron. So there's another type of technology which instead of working off the electrons, works off of the protons. And with this technology, they can create a field within which, just like the electron and the wires, the signal doesn't necessarily go through the wire, but it goes through the field generated through or around or within 90 degrees of the wire. Because if you have a wire from here to the moon and back to the Earth, it doesn't take a long time for the signal to go through the wire, because the signal doesn't really go through the wire. It goes through the field generated around the wire, apparently. So there is the proton. There is a technology that works with the protons, which apparently interrupts the electronic, the capability for electrons to flow through the field around the wires. So with this technology, using the proton, they can create a net or an area where any technology that works off of the electron or works using the electron is zeroed out. So if you have a warship and you're driving it through the ocean off the coast of a certain country, and you want to turn it off, you can just activate this Proton technology, and just like electricity, you got Proton technology, and the aircraft or the aircraft carrier doesn't work anymore. It becomes a sitting duck. So if we develop this technology in the public sector, then there are different technologies like that we can create, which once we, which might nullify most, if not all, the types of weapons that might exist. So as we do more here in the public sector to nullify the technologies in the military sector, we can perhaps spread the love and encourage those in the military to fortify the public sector and the freedom and have a happier life here throughout the solar system and the universe and the galaxy. All right, signing out here again, Paul S. from Ocean Camera Space Corp. Hope you have a great day. Yeah, there are a lot of people who are doing good on this planet, and I hope you are one of them. In 2, 1, signing out. Thanks everybody. Good day today, tomorrow, the next day. Let's do good here on the planet.